Today we're going to do something even more fun. I don't know, it's up to you. There's Rickenbackers in the background, the Bluesman's back there. The JDs are packed in cases because they're being stored for the winter and they come out when I need them. So in the meantime, let's talk about this little guy right here. For those of you who are not familiar with seeing vintage, this is a vintage 73 Rickenbacker model 4000. Fairly uncommon base, kind of unique in its own way because 73 was really a transition year for Rick. So what this thing basically does is it has one sound. This is like the beginner, the beginner model for Rickenbacker because, again, the differences between this bass, now let's see how to grab this other wise guy back here. I would say it's pretty obvious, don't you? Okay, so again, look at the differences. These basses are 5 years apart. Okay, the 4000, the intro level model, basically, dots, no triangles. It's a mono input. It's got one pickup, two knobs, and it does that. The other thing about these guitars is, as you can see by the destruction on the back of this 78, this is a neck through. The 4000 models after 1972 were set necks. So you have a two-piece body with a neck that goes halfway in and stops. Okay? So again, as you can see, no binding, no frills compared to our trusty 4001 here. Basically it's like this. If you go back and look, you will not find a whole lot of people playing these, although in the 70s they did. Stanley Clarke had one of these in Return to Forever in 1974, and the Bachman-Turner Overdrive crew, Fred Turner, played a Burgundy one of these. Beyond that, I don't see too many. There is a guy in England right now named Duncan Reed. Check him out. He's got a Fireglow one of these, which is later than this one. And there's a good friend of mine in California named Clay who has one in Autumn Glow, which I haven't seen in about 20 years. So, with that said, let's talk about some more here and let's play. Okay, the person who sent me this bass put these groovy gold strings on it, and they're pretty interesting, although they probably will go for roto sounds here shortly. This bass has been reworked slightly. It's been refinished in the old jetglo. The old jetglo was pretty ragged, so he had it redone, and it is a perfect job. The Grover tuners are intact. The plexi truss rod cover is intact. Here's the other thing. The old bridges on these 73s, half of them had this and half of them didn't. This is a cast bridge. It's got a little mark, little knots taken out of it there, like a toothy bridge. This is a cast piece. The later ones are made out of either aluminum or zinc or some kind of oxide metal, and they're not as sturdy as these are. Of course, you'll hear people say that these bridges also have a tendency to break and crack because they're solid, regardless. Needless to say, so this bass does one thing really well, and you can kind of do two things if you want. It's all based on what you do with the tone knob. So we have your standard volume tone. Sound familiar? Sounds like some other brand we all know. Anyway, so let's kind of do what this does. On the pedal board, I've just got a boost chorus on it. I've got nothing else. I'll add some other nuttiness as we go. So basic sounds here. You can either play in front of the pickup or play in back, and I have yet to take the cap off because my thumb is usually anchored on that pickup. So for now, let's play in front. Okay, so if I go behind the pickup, it's going to start barking at me because these 73s also, this is a screw top pickup. For those of you who are Rick heads, you know that the screw top pickup was a 73 high gain. It has a metal plate underneath it instead of the plastic that came later. Okay, so tone up, tone down. Pretty mellow sounding, wouldn't you say? So overall, it's a pretty different sound from your standard Rickenbacker because you don't have as much to play with. You don't have the pickup sitting up here, and you don't have the extra knobs and all that stuff to play with. So it's a very simple design, and yet it can do some really cool things. So let's try and see what else we can do. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of juice, shall we say, and I'm going to roll the tone back up. So let me tell you this. I rolled in the VT bass. Okay, I have not touched the settings on the VT bass. This is the exact same setting. If you listen to the Black Rick video and the Fireglow Rick video, I haven't touched the knobs. Everything is set the same way. So if you listen between this sound and the other ones, they're very, very different. This one almost sounds more like a buzzsaw. Or what did I say to Sean Bellamy the other day? A chainsaw and a freight train mixed together. Yeah, so it's got that kind of thing going to it. Let me just say this. There's a dude named Bobby who gave this to me. Thank you so much. We're going to have some fun with this bass. So, again, if you have questions about this instrument, this one's here in the stash, feel free to fire away. If you really want to see the comparison about what this does, like I said, check out the other Rick videos and just listen for the tones, especially on the last two that I did prior, because I'm using the exact same pedal setup, the exact same craziness as on those two as on this. So, with that in mind, here it is. With that in mind, go play some bass. When in doubt, play bass. Check out the video. Questions, fire them here. Any other questions? Ask. It's all good. In the meantime, like I said, play. Play, 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 play. Don't goof off. Don't watch TV. Don't play on the computer. Go play bass. Go be a rock star. Do your thing, because you know what? You need it. You really do. Until next time, rock on.